Welcome to Woodlands North. Thanks for joining us today. I'm going to bring you my initial setup and impressions of the Amok Draumr XL and the Amok Fjøl, don't know how to pronounce that, inflatable insulated pad, and it's coming up right now. Stay tuned. Apologize to all my subscribers, it's been quite a while since my last video. Keep saying it, you know, that work thing just keeps getting in the way. But you know, I'm happy I got out today on this negative 11 Celsius, I think, today. Yeah, it's pretty brisk out here. Braving the elements to bring you this review. And to be honest with you, I started this review several months ago in my backyard. And work just got crazier and crazier and crazier, and I was never able to finish it. But today, I do have some time, and we're going to get it done. So if you have been a part of my channel for any length of time, you'll notice that I have the original Draumr, and I apologize if I mispronounce any of this. Draumr 3.0, I believe it is. Spending a few nights in the 3.0 made me realize that there was a couple things that just didn't quite fit the bill for me, at least, and really hoping they've addressed it, because I believe this is probably one of the most versatile and configurable hammocks, if that's a word, that there is. Like its little brother, you do need a specific type of pad. Amok does make one. I do have some other brands that work, but basically what you want is a pad where the baffles go vertical instead of horizontally, and that sort of gives the hammock its structure. Also, like its little brother, this is not a lightweight option, but considering that this is a much larger hammock than the 3.0, they've managed to keep the weight pretty reasonable, at least compared to that one. Again, this is not for any ultralight type of camping or anything like that, but let's, I've never set this up. So let's find a couple trees and let's get it going. Okay, so like its little brother, it seems that this hammock has its own stuff sack that's included as part of the hammock. And see if we can get it loose here. I'm trying to keep my gloves on because it is bitter cold today, and does not take long for the hands to freeze. Okay, looks like we've got a strap. So this hammock requires that your trees be minimum of 8 to 20 feet. I'm guessing these trees are about 12, 13 feet apart. So I think we should be good here. Okay, so you see that these are color coded, and this one is labeled port red. So port is left when you're sitting in the hammock. So we're gonna put it to this tree here. One other difference, if you're familiar with the 3.0, is that these buckles are removable, and I am going to need to remove my glove for that, I think. So now it's easy to just find the tree that you need. There's a little loop here. Pass it through the loop, and then this buckle will attach to the hammock. Now that I've got this lashed to the tree, you have to sort of feed it through this buckle, and there's a tapered part of the clip that always needs to stay up, and that's so it doesn't slide. Now imagining I'm going to have to make a few adjustments here, so let me walk around and have a go at it. So for the Amok XL, they do provide, or they can provide, an inflatable insulated pad. This is actually like an extra large and extra long pad to accommodate the size of the hammock. There are other ones that work. I have an I have one from XPed, it's a bit smaller, and it does fit in there and it does actually work. But let's go through this one and see what it's all about. It weighs 36 ounces, so that's, I don't know, just 2¼ pounds, and it's good for -4 Celsius, and that includes a little pump bag in here. So let's show you what that's all about. So that's the pump bag there. Here's the valve. I believe this is just a little snap system here. There it goes. And you're supposed to try to somehow fill this with air. Some people say you can give it just a little bit of breath. And then you transfer that into the mattress. You can see here, I think I had this thing twisted and it wasn't filling properly. Okay, so now I think it's about 6 or so bagfuls, and it's quite hard to push, so I'm thinking it's ready. We may even need to let some air out, but I can do that after it's in the hammock. So as you can see, this is a very large underpad here, made specifically for this hammock. So now what you have to do, you always need to pay attention to where the valve is, because there's a fitting for it at the top. I'll show you that later. And then, see, there's a little slot. You have to sort of work it in here. So I had to fiddle with this a little bit, and I found that I had pumped up the mat too much, and it was pretty difficult to get in there. So I let out a little bit of air at the top. I'm going to show you that in a second. And now there's this little sleeve here. It fits inside nicely, and now you can zipper it up, and it's in there, making a little platform for you to sleep on. So what I want to show you before is, here's where I was saying you had to make sure you put the valve to make sure it comes out in this corner so you can access it, and there's a reason for it. I had to actually let out some air out of this guy to actually fit it properly in here. So I'd probably recommend you blow it up to about 65–70% full, then feed it into the hammock, and then continue blowing it up if you need to. It'll probably make your life a lot easier. One other change they made for the XL, you see here, they've got these sort of, I don't know what they're called, stick receivers, and they give the hammock a little more body. This is probably to keep the bug net off your face. So we've got a couple of the stick ports here as well to keep this popped up, I guess, to keep it off your feet. And here's the newly designed, I guess, foot box you can call it. In the old Amok 3.0, it came up to about here. It was almost up to my knees, and that was the one thing I didn't like, is that when I slept in this hammock, my feet were really compressed in here, compressing my sleeping bag, and kept them kind of cold. So I'm hoping that this is gonna fix that problem. It's one of the key reasons I got this one. So we've got some nice storage options here. Here is the bag that contained the hammock. It rolls in here and it's permanently attached. And it looks like it's a pretty good size. You could probably fit, I don't know, maybe a couple of slippers in there, maybe a jacket you could stuff in there. Pretty good size. Inside here, there's a nice size storage container. You could fit probably 2 of these Camelback containers in there, maybe a pair of slippers, maybe a jacket. Here, perfect little place for your cell phone. This looks like it would hold a small water bottle, like a very small one maybe, but probably better used for keys or glasses, things like that. Here I do have another water bottle, and I don't know if it was intended, but in here looks like there's a lot of room on both sides, so you could probably fit, I don't know, jacket, extra pair of pants, and it would also probably help insulate you a little bit as well. So there's quite a bit of storage in here, which I do like. All right, we'll try to get into this thing. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Just got to feel that your weight has to be balancing here. Wow. Very comfortable. All right, now looks like okay. So brought the head end up a bit. That's quite nice. Okay, so one thing I wanted to show you was in this compartment here, and I know I don't need one for this time of year, but there is a bug net integrated in here, and this is removable, which is nice. You want to shave a few ounces off the weight of this thing if you're not needing it anyway. So there's an inside and an outside zip. Again, guys, first time I'm setting this up, so I'm not exactly sure how this is all supposed to work. This bug net's kind of on my face, so I've got this little clip system here. Okay, so now it's off my face. I have plenty of room inside here. Thanks to Amok for bringing me this little cup here that came with the hammock, and you know, it's a nice little addition to any kit, and definitely be keeping it with me, and I'm enjoying a tea right now. Okay, friends, I think it's time to give you my final thoughts on this. And the first thing that always comes to mind when I'm setting up either the Amok 3.0 or this one is that there's a couple of extra quirks. Because of the nature of this, there's a bit of a trade-off. They've added in some configurability you don't have in other hammocks, but there are a few quirks in setting it up, in getting into the hammock, getting out of the hammock. Nothing big, just something you definitely want to be aware of, and you might want to just set this up in your backyard the first night and you know, just get used to the quirks before you go on a trip, but it's probably going to save you some trouble. Definitely not an ultralight hammock, nowhere near. One of the heavier hammocks out there at, I think it's 3 pounds, 2 ounces. You do have to consider, though, that includes the hanging straps and the bug net as well. Bug net is fully removable, and you can save a few grams by leaving that at home if you like. Also, the pad provided by Amok, the Fjøl, it's actually quite comfortable. Not rated for 4-season, more like a 3-season pad. But the good thing is that other mats do fit in here. I do have one from Xped that does fit, and I think that one's rated to, I don't know, a little bit more. I think it's like 20 Fahrenheit or something like that. So I can bring that one if I need to, and I'm sure there's other things I can do as well to boost this one up if I needed to. So all in all, it is comfortable, and it does work well. There's lots of storage. I've showed you all the pockets, all the places you could store stuff, and again, I don't know if this is by design or what this is, but you can stuff clothes, jackets, stuff you want in here, and you know what, it won't come in against you and cause problems. So it's a pretty nice system, actually. Now, if you're upgrading from the Amok 3.0, the biggest reason for me to upgrade would be this footbox. There's a lot of other things. The straps are now removable. I don't know yet. It's my first time setting it up. I don't know that I like it better. And I'm sure there's people that are going to like this better, and I'm sure there's people that's going to like the other system better. So I don't know which one. You'll have to make up your own mind on that. The bug net on this one, I feel like it's a little bit more quirky. I think the other one, if I remember, had 2 zippers, and it was pretty easy to deploy and set up. This one, I had to kind of reach up here, and it's kind of the same for the other one. I just had a little bit of an easier time for some reason. So again, not a big deal, and in my opinion, not a deal breaker. And another thing that I find with these, not just with this one, with the 3.0, is that the adjustments are kind of hard to make when you're in. You can do it, but you have to kind of shift your weight a little bit to help it along, because it's just these little straps here, and it just does take a little bit of, you know, torque to get them to where you want. Or you can just set them up
while you're not in the hammock, it does make life a lot easier. And I found actually that while I've got it set up in this recliner mode, that it's actually much easier for me at least to get in. When it's laying flat, it's it's a lot of fun to get in, to say the least. And again, not mocking it in any way. I actually just understand that there's a few quirks to get the extra benefits of the reclining and the extra comfort, in my opinion anyway. And I do think it is worth it. The biggest thing over the 3.0 again is this foot box. I don't know if it's these size 12s. I don't know if it's my height. I think they're saying this 3.0 should accommodate up to 6 feet, and I'm right at 6 feet. But every time I put my feet in the foot box, it crams the sleeping bag around me, and I get uncomfortable and shortly thereafter cold. So I'm hoping that this one has a much more open layout, and I'm hoping that it will fit the bill better for that. So my friends, thanks for watching this video and spending time with me today. I really appreciate it. If you like videos like this, why don't you subscribe to my channel? I would love to see you. And please come back for our next video. Till then, take care. Good night.